Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the current affairs class, where I'll be discussing all of the important aspects that are necessary for UPSC, be it for prelims or be it for mains. Right? Without any further delay, let's start today's discussion. And today's date is March 25th, March 25th, 2026. So I think I found a few articles that are important for UPSC, and the first article that is important for UPSC, and I consider this part as important for mains rather than for prelims. So the first one is SC status only for Hindus, Buddhists, Sikhs. Top court says, meaning that the Supreme Court said that the SC categorization or the SC protection is only for Hindus, Buddhist, and Sikh category. Now, the reason why it happened is because it all started with a case where a person called Chittad Anand, who belonged to a Madhika family. Madhikas is usually categorized under scheduled castes. Okay, and that person has converted into Christianity and started to work as a pastor. Okay, and then after some time, something happened, and he put a criminal appeal to the court, saying that he needs protection under the ST Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989. And the Supreme Court started to examine all of the aspects that are part of that case and came with the conclusion that you cannot ask for protection under the said act, that is the Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989. And the reason that the court stated is based on the Scheduled Caste Order of 1950, under which clause 3 says that a person only can avail the benefits of scheduled caste only if that person professes religions like Hinduism, Buddhism, and Sikhism. Any person other than these three religions cannot quote or cannot ask for the benefits given under the SC order of 1950. And the article also shows that the Sikh religion was added into the clause 3 in 1956, right? And the clause of Buddhism was added in 1990. These are the two aspects that you need to keep in mind. Now, the major aspect what comes into play is why did why did the Supreme Court, or why did the orders that are present in the law ensure that only these religions are eligible for availing the benefits of scheduled castes? The main reason is because when the actual scheduled caste was designed, scheduled caste community was designed, it was mainly designed to ensure that the benefits are only for those people that are that face the historical injustice of untouchability. Basically, when the government designed the scheduled caste community, they designed it only to ensure that those people benefit who were historically injustice, who face the historical injustice brought in by the untouchability. Similarly, and the government believed that all of the untouchability was mainly part of Hindu caste order, meaning that the government saw that the untouchability was mainly part of the Hindu caste order, and that is the reason under the clause 3 it only mentioned those religions that are part of Hinduism, meaning Hinduism, all the Hindus, and the Sikhism, and also the Buddhists. These three are part of Hinduism, and that is the reason it ensured that all of the SC benefits or the scheduled caste benefits are going to those people that have been historically prone to injustice under the untouchability. Okay, but then again, what you need to understand is that there is a saying by a person called Risley quoted that caste is in the air of India, right? Caste is in the air of India. That is what Risley said, meaning that it is not part of one religion, rather it is part of multi-religion, meaning that caste is prevalent in all the religions that are present in India, saying that it is also present in Muslims, it is also present in the Christians. So the part of untouchability is present in many religions. It's not only present in the Hindu caste order. Similarly, the Lokur Committee, while designing the SC list, took into consideration the economic, educational, and social backwardness that are mainly part of the historical untouchability. Right. The Logur committee came up with the list, came up with the SC list, and when making the SC list, it considered all of the educational, social, and economic backwardness that were stemmed out of the historical injustice called untouchability. So what you need to understand is that while some part of it is right, and but the main reason why the SC/ST Atrocities Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989 has been brought into existence is to ensure that people who are considered as untouchable have protection. Right? It's not based on religion, rather it is based on the injustice that has been doing to them. Just because a person has been converted into a different religion, be it a Christian convert or be it a Muslim convert, if they are facing what you call injustice or untouchability as a discrimination, then I think that law should apply to those people also. At the end of the day, it's not about creating law for a particular religion. It is creating a law that ensures equality among all of the people. So that is the reason we need to ensure. That is what I believe. But then again, it is all about what the government believes and what the Supreme Court believes. So let's see what happens next. Now, as the clause says that clause 3 of the SC order 1950 says that the SC category status and the benefits are only availed by those people who belong to Hinduism, Buddhism, and Sikhism. This is not the same case with scheduled tribes, meaning that under the scheduled tribes order, if any person is changing their religion, that doesn't mean their benefits will cease to exist. This clause is only applicable for those people that are present under scheduled caste and not present under scheduled tribe. Okay, these are all the aspects that are present in the particular article. Right, one is that only 3 religions that are able to avail the benefits of scheduled caste, those are Hindus, Buddhists, and Sikhs. And secondly, Lokur committee, while making up the list, it considered economic, educational, and social backwardness that came out of or the stemmed out of historical injustice called untouchability. And the untouchability, I mean the benefits availed to those people of SC and ST would be applicable differently, meaning that for SC people, if they are only from Hindu, Buddhism, and Sikhism, they would be able to avail the benefits, and if they had converted to other religions like Muslims, Islam, or Christianity, then it would not be they will not be able to avail the benefits. But this is not the same case with the scheduled tribes. If a scheduled tribe person changes the religion from Hinduism to Christianity or Christianity to Islam, then they still would be able to avail the benefits under the scheduled tribes. Okay, these are all the information that is present in the particular article. Right, you can use it under GS1 as part of society. Right, how society there is discrimination and there is lack of equality in the society. You can use it under GS1, and also you can use it under GS2, where you can talk about injustice, right? Injustice and law and judiciary. These are all the aspects that you can use the particular information that is given here. Okay, moving on. I don't think there's much information that is given in the newspaper today. But day by day, I think the amount of information that is given in the newspaper relevant for UPSC is reducing. Over the time, I think it will only be confined to the science and tech page. Other than that, I don't think any other information would be that useful for what do you call UPSC. I've seen this article editorial where it is talking about the judicial push of environmental CSR. CSR refers to the corporate social responsibility, right? Corporate social responsibility is under Section 135, Section 135 of Companies Act 2013, meaning that under the Companies Act, Section 135 says that companies have to ensure that they have to maintain their social responsibility as a company that is gaining profits in India, right? They have to spend 2% of the net profits in social activities such as education, healthcare, right? All of these aspects it can contribute. Now, what the article says is that while the corporate social responsibility is there, right? Many people are focusing on education, healthcare, sports, science, and all of these are. Despite doing all of these, I think the article says that it is necessary for them to shift their perspective from social responsibility to environmental responsibility, meaning that they are focusing on people a lot and focusing less on the environment. So the article says that yeah, the corporate social responsibility has been happening, but then again we need environmental push for it, right? It says that we need the environmental push for corporate social responsibility. And schedule 7 of the Companies Act says that the corporate social responsibility can be diverted to environmental degradation, environmental conservation, forest conservation, soil formation. In all of the aspects, the corporate social responsibility money can be used in all of these aspects is what the Schedule 7 says. Okay. Apart from this, we also have a constitutional clause 51 AG. This is part of fundamental duties. Fundamental duties are part of part 4A, and they have been brought in under 44th constitutional amendment. Right? You need to keep in mind all of these. So 51 AG says that it is the duty of every citizen to protect the environment, forest, and conserve the environment. This is what the 51 AG says. Now, the editorial says that as we have seen, meaning that as we have seen that we have section 135 in Companies Act. Similarly, we have Schedule 8 in Schedule 7 in Companies Act, and lastly 51 AG. All of these point towards what do you call a duty, a constitutional duty, rather than just a charity. So the editorial is saying that instead of treating environmental conservation just as a charity under corporate social responsibility, take it as a what do you call constitutional obligation or a lawful obligation to ensure that you are not only ensuring that the social or people-centric social responsibility is being fulfilled, rather we are also focusing on the environmental responsibility. So the what do you call author says that we need to push for a corporate environmental responsibility. This is what the author is saying. Other than this, the author says that in order to ensure that we are focusing a lot on the environment, we should focus on what success matters. Previously, whenever any person was investing in the environment, they used to focus on the number of events that were converted, right? Number of environmental events that were being held, and the amount of money that has been pumped in for environmental responsibility. These are the aspects which they used to consider as success, meaning that if a company has held many events for environment, that is a success. And if a company has spent a lot of money, then that is considered as success. So the author is saying that we should not consider these parts as success. Rather, we should consider carbon sequestration, forest conservation, soil formation, right? Habitat protection. We need to consider all of these aspects as success. If a company is ensuring that the amount of corporate social responsibility is going to carbon sequestration or the forest conservation or soil formation or habitat protection, then they should consider as success. And only then we'll ensure that environmental protection is also happening, rather than just acting it as a charity. So it's saying that this is corporate environmental responsibility, right? Corporate environmental responsibility is nothing but ensuring that there is actual benefit. The actual benefit is shown from carbon sequestration, forest conservation, soil formation, habitat protection. It happens in all of these and not in events and the money pumped in the corporate social responsibility. That's what the article is saying, right? Now, coming to the stats, I think there's few stats where states such as Maharashtra, Then there is Gujarat, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Delhi. These are the states in which there is high amount of corporate social responsibility. I'm talking about corporate social responsibility and not corporate environmental responsibility. Okay, these are the states in which there is high corporate social responsibility, and the companies that spend a lot on corporate social responsibility are SDFC. Then you have Reliance, SDFC, then Reliance, then lastly Tata Consultancy Service. These are the three companies that spend a lot on corporate social responsibility. Now, the author also says that the amount of environmental restoration, that has happened since 2011 is 9.8 million hectare. 9.8 million hectare environmental restoration has happened. But then again, out of the 9.8 million hectare, 94.4% of the restoration was done by government agencies. Right? 94.4% of the restoration under the 9.8 million hectares was done by the government agencies, whereas 3.6% was done by the NGOs, right? Non-governmental organizations. And lastly, only 2% of the 9.8 million hectare restoration was done by the private companies. This shows how much amount the private companies are using their corporate social responsibility to ensure there is environmental protection. This is the reason why the author is also pushing for a corporate environmental responsibility and reduced people-centric restoration, because many NGOs or many government agencies are actually pushing forward for what you call people-centric approaches. But then again, someone has to focus on the environment, and that is why the article or the editorial is saying that we need to focus more on the corporate economic environmental responsibility and reduce it by a bit from the people-centric approach. You can use this information for GS3 under environment, right? Environment under how there is economical degradation happening and how you can use corporate social responsibility and diverting it into corporate environmental responsibility, right? These are the aspects that are present in today's newspaper. And if you guys think there's any other important information that is present in the newspaper, study it, but then again, don't focus more on it, because I've seen the newspaper. There's not much of information that is really necessary for UPSC. Ensure that you're studying minimally, not focusing on subjects that are not relevant for UPSC talk. Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you. We'll meet you guys tomorrow in next class.